Okay, hi folks. We're going to do a handmade mask today, just with a needle, thread, and some cotton. And what I would like you to do is grab some thread, make your knot, double it, and you're going to about 1.5 feet, a little less than 2 feet, right? So that's your needle and thread. You want to grab a piece of cotton and go a little bit bigger than what the video asks for, the video for rockcovidmask19.org. So you're going to go to 8.5 instead of 7.5, and you're going to go to 16 instead of 15. All right, these side pieces, they're going to be, let's say about 7. Okay, 7 each of these, and go a little bit wider than mine. Go to about 3.25. Okay, that's what you need for materials. Now with a sample piece of fabric, I just want to show you there's a lot of fraying, and it's also not perfectly even, so make sure that you square that up, clean it up however you can do it, get rid of the extra fraying, and then take your fabric and I want you to move it this way up here, and then you're going to fold it in twice. Okay, just a little bit. That's probably about 1/4 inch, and then again. All right, and that keeps your mask ultimately from fraying and falling apart in the wash. I've started it here. See how I did this? I ironed roughly 1/4 inch, another 1/4, and then I started sewing. And you don't have to be a perfect, I'm not very good at this hand sewing business, but you really only need 1.5 inches here, and then you're going to skip this part for the moment, and 1.5 inches here, because you're going to do something with a pocket. I'll show you that. So now we have the 2.5 inches, the two segments that have been stitched 1.5 inches each. And what we've done is to press down this part, open it up, press it down. This is inside out. And then what I would have you do is just take a few stitches here. All right, they don't have to be super close unless you want to do that, but just a few stitches to hold this part down, the bottom. So remember, this is stitched, and you want to make sure that you don't go all the way through. You don't want to seal this up. You're just trying to hold down this edge. Okay? Thanks. So just a reminder that you're just tacking down this part here, and remember you need to leave that open. All right, and I'll show you what we do next. We're going to turn this right side out, all right, so that the pretty side of the fabric is showing. And what you want to do is go back to your iron and iron so that you've got roughly about a 1/2 inch channel up here. Remember, we've got this pocket going on here. And you could use any number of bendy materials for the nose. We happen to use 2 twist ties twisted together. So I'm going to slide this into the top pocket right here. Okay. And then you could hand stitch this closed, but again, and you will go all the way through. You do want to stitch all through. Okay. Just don't stitch this part. You're stitching only the top. This has to stay open. Okay. The pockets are visible from the back, and now you want to flip over to the front, and you want to create at least a couple of pleats. Okay, what I do is I just try to make sure that they're even. I don't do a lot of fussy measuring. I might check it with this, roughly 1/2 inch, and I'm going to take my iron and iron in that first pleat. Okay, now then I'm going to find another good spot for a pleat, and again, maybe a scant 1/2 inch, about here, roughly. Okay. All right. All right, see how that mask is coming together? Okay. Next step, we'll do the sides. Okay. So I just want to show you how to start pulling this mask together. So you have these vertical strips. And what you're going to do is to put pretty sides together. I happen to be using a batik, so both sides are about the same. So I'm going to put the facing sides together here. Over here, I've shown you how I've ironed all 4 sides so that you'll have a nice finished look. And what you need to do is you may want to clip it or pin it just to make sure that these pleats don't come out. Okay? And you're going to sew all the way through here. You want to be able to attach this to the pleats, and eventually what you can sort of see where this is going, you're going to be pulling this around to the back. See how nice that looks? You'll be pulling that around to the back so that you can string some elastic, right? And yeah, I said the word elastic, but honestly, there's very little elastic left around. So you may want to improvise with something. If you're lucky enough to have some elastic, here's what you're going to be doing. You finish up this channel. Yours is wider than mine, remember, because I had you add an extra inch to this width. You sew this up, and you don't have to go all the way through. You just want to make sure that you sew it to the pleats. And then you would take a safety pin and string through your elastic if you have it. If not, you may want to use a stretchy shirt and cut that into 1-inch strips and see if that will go through. You could also make tie-ons, which would just mean more cotton, thread it through, okay? And finally, remember that the reason we did this pocket is that there's a filter that could go in here, okay? Once you actually put this mask together, the filter goes in. And you know, you can find out more about that from the rockcovid19masks.org. Thanks.